Hello, and welcome to a new episode of Ramblings from Two Meddling Kids. I'm Edward Hunt, joined by my fellow shark expert,
Mike Cunningham.
And we are the Meddling Kids.
I feel like I would really like one of these degrees that you keep giving me each week.
No, that's the best part. When you
I don't like an honorary degree.
No. You have a podcast, you're an expert on everything. Everyone knows that. And today we will be reviewing Meg 2, The Trench. For those of you joining us for the first time, or if you're coming back, welcome. We like to review movies. Do not worry, we won't spoil anything of this movie for the first 10-15 minutes. We'll give you a spoiler-free review, then a little bit of background, then kind of like a plot summary where we talk through some of the main points of the movies, and then finish up with some of our likes and dislikes, and then see if we decided to change that rating. So, without further ado, 0 to 5. Mike, are you ready?
Yes.
Spoiler-free review. What do you give Meg 2, The Trench?
2.
Okay.
I guess it's one of those. I was thinking about it. How when you do your ratings, you like base it on like if it's a serious or whatever it is. Because obviously this is very much a B movie, a B type movie or whatever it is, and it was like not in the vein of Sharknado, but like not necessarily Jaws.
Yeah. Somewhere on that.
It's like between like Deep Blue Sea and Sharknado.
Fair.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, is it supposed to be taken serious? Maybe not. So in that vein, maybe on like I guess it's like in the cult classicness of your Deep Blue Sea, possibly, which people I guess will rank high when it comes to shark films.
Okay.
But just for me, as I'm not a huge shark film fan or whatever it is, I would have to it's just a 2. I think it had its moments, and I this is very similar to Cocaine Bear for me.
Okay.
Where it's just like when the titular antagonist in question was on the screen, I'm all in.
Fair.
All this human shit don't give a smooth fuck.
Yeah, there was a lot of this where he's like, I don't care. Yeah.
Like, how the fuck in those two movies it was just like, it's Cocaine Bear, it's The Meg, and it's just like, and they're still guests in their own fucking film.
They're there for like 15 minutes tops, and you're like, well, keep it moving.
Oh my god! I just remember from the pitch meeting. Tell me about that Cocaine Bear.
I'm like, yes, tell me about this giant shark.
But it was like, that's what I felt about the Meg. It was just like it introduced. Okay, it had the way the movie comes in, like you think, it's going to be all about the Meg.
Yeah.
Not so much. No. And it was just, I guess, the characters they tried to add some type of depth so that you cared about when they, that you cared about them throughout. But it was like I didn't see the first one, so like I'm obviously familiar with, I think, the DJ character and Jason Statham.
Yeah.
And the little girl.
Yes.
But outside of that, I was just like, it was literally playing the game of Guess Who. Like, were they in the?
That one guy was, right?
Was it Mac?
Yeah, Mac. I'm pretty sure
Cliff,
was. Yeah. I can't remember. Yeah.
But yeah, so it was just like, it just didn't hit me as much. I mean, I think the action scenes with the Meg, like all of the animals were the best parts.
Yeah.
That scene and it's in the trailer, but when they have to walk the trench to get somewhere, terrifying. This is why I don't fuck with the ocean. Like,
fair. Yeah.
So it's just like I enjoyed that. But yeah, like it's just like when they leaned heavy into like the human story of it all,
bruh.
It was a real lull.
It was.
But like I said, I think possibly because it is a B movie, maybe that's the point. Maybe but they just, just like we said with Cocaine Bear, they didn't lean into the absurdity of this concept.
Yeah.
Like you tried, you dipped your toe, but you really didn't fully commit, and it shows.
Yeah.
At least for fans like outside of like your core demographic. So yeah, like I said, I had fun with the Meg parts, any of the shark attacks, and like any of those interactions in the film, any of those scenes, they were really great, shot really well. But I like the antagonist was weird. I'm getting tired of like they did it in Transformers or some shit like that. You have these movies where like you got giants and the antagonist is still somehow capitalism or humans.
Yeah, exactly.
What are we doing?
Like, they're like, the real villain was capitalism all along. I'm like, no.
The real villain was the friends you made along the way. It's like, no, motherfucker, it's a goddamn giant.
It's the 75-foot shark that's killing people. Just throwing that out there.
Why can nobody be a villain nowadays?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a 2. Like I said, there was fun parts, but it was very much towards the end. I was just like, either show me the shark or get out of here.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Agree with the 2. I'm giving it a 1.5. Yeah. So I'm even going a little bit lower. That's not to say there wasn't some merit in this movie, but as a whole, you would think with Jason Statham and a premise of a giant man-eating shark, it's going to keep you on the edge of your seat the whole time. No.
You know what the problem is too? Scale.
Yeah. fair, yeah.
How big is this fucking shark?
It's pretty
This
big.
motherfucker came at the shark and got the equivalent of a toothpick, and I was
Yeah.
like, "You said it's the biggest Meg anyone's ever seen."
Yeah.
No.
It doesn't look that big. Yeah, that's...
Well, he did. He literally in the trailer, he put his foot up to the mouth,
He just blocked it.
and
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, "Excuse me."
Well, no, that wasn't the biggest one. That was one of the others that were
It was just the scale was all over the place. It was
Yeah.
like, and a lot of these movies like this, it was just like the monster is big as you need it to be in that
Yes.
moment,
Yeah.
and that takes away from the.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, because this thing is really like 80 feet long. How in the world can you do any of this? But apparently you can. But yeah, so I'm agreeing with a lot of what Mike said of when the Meg was there, it was cool. And I think it was some great CGI, both with the Meg and then both with the underwater trench scene that was
Yeah.
in the trailers, so not spoiling anything. Those were some really cool parts. You could have made a movie of that entire underwater
That's
thing.
honestly what I thought it was. It's weird. Like you had these great concepts. It was like that's what it could have been. It was just like them getting stranded in a trench and having to get out.
Yeah.
But the problem is they did a movie like that a few years ago.
Exactly,
Called
yeah.
What was it? Underwater or something?
I mean, that's like
I know-
Journey to the Center of the Earth. There's so many movies
No,
really
but
like
it's
that.
one that
but
just
yeah.
came out recently with
okay.
Kristen Stewart.
Oh, yes, where she's down there
Yeah.
and then everything starts
I
breaking.
can't
and
remember. I
busting
thought
up.
it was
Yeah.
Underwater or something like that. But
I can't remember. Yeah,
I
something.
think that's interesting because it was like whether it's 3D or not, and that's why I was curious if you saw it in 3D. But it was just like
I did not. I thought about it.
in the trench, like truly, like terrifying. Like I
Yeah,
said,
yeah.
I do not fuck with water, bro. As soon as the sun doesn't break that surface, swimming up.
But there's so much light down there. The bioluminescence. It's nature's light, bro. All right, come on.
Somebody's mother was like, "I'm not paying these damn electric bills. Gotta turn off these lights."
And then you learn to adapt and overcome. All right.
Wait, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so those were some good parts for sure. Agreed. Most of the human interactions were crappy. A lot of even the interactions between the actors and actresses, they're like, "Oh, we're best pals." I'm like, "Are you though?" I'm not feeling this kind of woodenness, of them really being as close. There were some good action sequences. I mean, there are better B movies out there. It's really kind of what it comes down to. And like this one, it just lacks. Because I love a good B movie. A good B movie is like a work of art.
I was gonna say you made us do Thanksgiving.
Damn right. All right. Well, that's a great C movie. All right. But from there, it had some entertaining parts, but there were times where I was just like, okay, can we wrap this up a little bit? The movie was like an hour and 50 some minutes long. It was 2 hours.
It was 2 hours.
It was 2 hours. Yeah, it was just.
Or maybe just slightly.
Technically, I think it was an hour 58. But,
I was kidding.
But yeah, and like, so there were a lot of times where I'm like, I'm bored. I'm just kind of waiting for this to go. But when the shark was out there, good. Third act, when that's when the Meg chaos is happening. All right, that was pretty entertaining at times. Didn't really make much sense, and
I think that's my problem too. That's what I was like. I was trying to give it the benefit of the doubt because it was, or it could have been a B movie.
Yeah.
Because like all sense doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
It was,
yeah.
or they're breaking their own rules.
Yeah, nah, it's just
So like they'll announce something. It was like this is once again. It was like I'll say this forever and ever. It was like, I don't care what universe you create. Just stick to the rules of that fucking universe.
would be ideal.
I don't know anything. You telling me?
yeah.
This is a world where wizards. Cool. Boom.
Done. No, wizards do wizard stuff. Sharks do shark things. All right, we get it. Sharks.
Whatever
sharky.
world you create, stick to the rules that you establish. Don't
Yeah.
go and change them and then call me an asshole for pointing it out.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think for this one, it was really just the case of a hodgepodge of a bunch of stuff. They took a bunch of really cool ideas, and they're like, we're just going to mash it all together and see what happens. And they didn't really execute on most of them.
Yeah.
So 1.5 out of 5. So I would say, I think, wait until it comes out for streaming, potentially.
Yeah.
Yeah. Granted, at this point in time.
But also,
yeah.
what I was like reading into it, it was just like it does, and obviously it's very clear they didn't make this movie for the domestic market.
Oh,
It
yes,
was very
fair.
much made for the Chinese market.
That 100% makes sense.
Because that's where it literally made all its money. So I think that's something I never factored in, and it usually because it was just like since it's a U.S. movie, you would assume either they're trying to get universal appeal or they know their audience.
Yeah.
Or like they're but
I was assuming a lot of the producers were Chinese,
Yeah.
because it was a very Chinese centric movie. There was a lot of times you're reading subtitles because people are speaking Chinese in the movie, and cool, no, totally fine. But because of that, I did kind of assume it was more centered towards the Chinese
Yeah.
market for sure. But yeah, so I mean, hey, or if you're in the Chinese market, you might love it. I'm not 100% sure, but even so, there's better movies. I believe in you, China. You can watch better movies. All right, so that is ours. Again, maybe wait till it streams. Let's get into some background of this movie. What did we find out?
Meg 2, The Trench, came out on August 4th, 2023. The runtime is 2 hours, about...
Hour 58.
You see, I didn't look in the eye when I said it. Here comes Mr. Actually, but...
Well, actually, sir, a megalodon shark actually wasn't prehistoric. They weren't when the dinosaurs were here. They were 20 million years ago when the dinosaurs were gone. Sorry, back to you, sir.
The budget was 130 million. The box office. So the first weekend it's weird since it didn't come out recently, but I mean it didn't come out when we were reviewing this. Mm-hmm. But I think that the opening weekend domestically was 30 million.
Okay.
So pretty poor.
I mean, it's better than some other movies that have come out.
But currently the worldwide box office is 260.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Only 55 of it is from the U.S.
Nice job, USA.
I feel like 100 or like between 90 and 100 million is strictly from China.
For sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
So I think it's only at the halfway point. I think the original made about 170 million or something. 570 million, I apologize.
Yeah, I was like, that's more than that. Yeah.
So definitely a step back. We'll see. Once again, it's only about the second or third week in the theaters.
Yeah.
And it's still people are still dealing with the aftermath of Barbenheimer.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, you could argue that the first movie also was better than this too. Like the first movie was a lot more focused. It was a lot more on like this is just the shark. We're just figuring out shark shit.
And you know it's funny. Randall Park, I believe, had a quote recently that said talking about the effects of Barbie.
Okay.
And like the lessons that Hollywood learns is, and it's very important. Is you see it from Barbie, right? So Barbie, massive hit, amazing movie. Hollywood's next step. All right, let's do the Metelliverse. They always, they get the wrong message from successes, right? And Randall Park was like, no, it's not build a doll universe.
Yeah.
It is produce more movies just like this, which means more movies centered, either produced, directed, written by women, starring women. That's the lesson you learn from that.
Yeah.
And I feel like so often it's the same thing with sequels and for successful movies. Oh, you liked? Let's talk about Cars. When Cars came out, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, you like Mater? Let's make him the main character.
Yeah,
Like, and Cars 2 sucked.
That's a terrible.
You know what I'm saying?
idea.
They take away the wrong messages from success, and you see that's why so many sequels fail.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just lightning in the bottle, and that's what it is.
Yeah.
Other times it was just like, no, you could have had. Look at Terminator 2.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
People love fucking the Terminator and the indestructibleness of a fucking an antagonist that you can't just kill with a bullet. So what did they do? They gave you your favorite Terminator and then one that was stronger than him. Boom, success.
Done. Yeah, exactly.
But they took the lessons of the first ones and made the next one better.
Fair. Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, once again, I don't know if we'll see that with this one. Jesus Christ. I did not mean to go out on that rant.
Hey. So people, it's the insight.
So Rotten Tomatoes is a 27 for the critics, 72 for audience.
72 for audience?
Yeah.
Oh, audience.
But
I'm like, no, audience.
Oh, audience, who hurt you?
I'm like, no, baby, no. I'm like,
Sweet David Child. This is the genre is action, sci-fi, mystery, thriller, and I think the mystery was just the fact that where the fuck is the shark?
I know, right? Mystery. What? Who done it now?
It's Hoomst. The director is Ben Wheatley, who had who before this had done The Kill List, The ABCs of Death. I feel like you might have seen that one.
I don't think
that was an interesting one. It was like an anthology, and it was like every director got a different letter of the alphabet.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So he did the letter U.
What was the U? Underwater?
I think it was Undead or something like that.
Ooh, okay.
He did
Uruguay?
a few. That's not how you pronounce that. I think he did a few episodes of Doctor Who. He did this movie called Free Fire. Excuse me.
Nope.
It's a little indie one that I really liked. It was like Brie Larson was in it.
Okay.
And like a bunch of UK stars. But it was just basically an arms deal going wrong.
Okay.
That's it. It was like very simple, one setting.
Yeah.
Different parties trying to make this deal. But it was a very interesting one that I really liked.
Yeah.
All right, the cast, we have Jason Statham returning as Jonas Taylor, Jing as Ju-Ming. That's
His uncle?
the uncle,
Yeah.
the benefactor. You have
He came out of nowhere. He was just
So that's the thing. Like they literally just killed off two characters that were alive in the first one.
Yeah, they just weren't even in it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because they like at the end of it, they were alive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought.
So you have Shuya Kai as Mei Ying. That's Jonas's basically his I guess adopted or stepdaughter or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I think her mother was his love interest in the first one.
Yes, because it was like he was going to save his ex-wife, but then he had the love interest with Mei Ying's mother.
Yeah.
And did Mei Ying's mother live after the first
Yes,
one? Though
that's what I'm
I thought.
saying.
And then they're just like, no, she's dead now. And
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, cool.
So you have Paige Kennedy returning as DJ. Sergio Menchata as Montez. A lot of people know him from Snowfall.
Okay. Yeah.
Skylar Samuels as Jess. Cliff Curtis, I think he's another returnee as Mac.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Melissa Mahat, as Regas.
Okay.
That was the pilot. Over
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And I think that's it because this last person I don't remember their actual involvement.
And then there was a lot of people who died.
And then that was the thing. It was just like they just introduced us to them as fodder. For the most
They're
part.
just like, hey, this person. Oh, there's something quirky about him, and dead.
And then the tagline is "New Meg, Old Chum."
So that's the thing. So like,
It was the see.
They did a great job with this movie when they started focusing on the trench. All right,
Yes.
the movie about the trench was really cool, and you could still have the Meg doing Meg stuff, but they were like, nah. We're not really going to give the trench the justice it needs, and we're
They
still
were
going to have the
taking out the
Meg.
human antagonist.
Yeah, that's
Going down to the trench, get trapped, gotta escape.
Yep.
As they escape, they leave a portal open for them, and then you remove all of the human antagonists. This is a good movie.
Yes, you just remove that and focus on.
Now,
what they
granted,
do
it would have
have.
been a smooth 85 minutes.
Which would be great. Which is great for a movie like this. This movie should have been 85 minutes. Look, they were going down there to get the unobtainium, all right? Spit take. They're going down to get the unobtainium, and then the sharks come.
Just curious
shit
if it's
happens.
easy to obtain.
Yeah. But yeah, so cool. Also, is there anything else background-wise, Mike? Okay, thank you so much, sir. Now we're going to start getting into like some of our summaries and things we liked and disliked about this movie. But a quick word from our sponsors. This guy. Hi, I'm Edward Hunt. I'm on the Just Be team of Compass. I'm a real estate agent here in the DMV, that is DC, Maryland, and Virginia. And the brokerage I work with is Compass, who is a nationwide brokerage. If you are in need of phenomenal lenders, contractors, or just want advice on the market in DC, Maryland, and Virginia, feel free to reach out to us anytime, and I can connect you with some amazing people or give you some advice. A great thing about Compass as well is since we are nationwide, even if you live, let's do Florida. Actually, yeah, I know a bunch of great agents down in Florida. Met them in person. I can connect you with them, and they can give you all the resources you need down there as well. Also, Hunt Comics. I'm still writing a comic. Issue 2, we're going to get started on the art process soon. And yeah, I should have the printed versions. I was hoping by the end of this month. We hit a small snag with printing, but it's getting fixed right now. And I have it online, so I'll be posting that and letting everyone know where to find it online. All right, now let's get into this movie. So it's called Meg 2: The Trench. So we don't really see sharks at all, I don't think. That wouldn't make sense for this movie.
Actually, yeah, the opening scene doesn't make sense to me.
No, not at all.
All right, so the opening scene is basically the trailer. So you have some mosquito getting eaten by some lizard, which is eaten by a bigger lizard, which gets attacked by a T-Rex. So you just see the food chain of the trench.
For the record, I love openings like this. They've done it in other movies too.
You know,
I like them a lot.
Dominion, Jurassic World Dominion had an opening like this.
Yeah, I'm always cool with like food chain. You know, like it's just always fascinating. It's like,
So the only thing that pissed me off about this food chain is like, how the fuck are you scared of something that can't come on land?
yeah, right.
That's like me in DC being terrified of something in the ocean.
Yeah.
Oh god.
It's coming for me right now. We're gonna get it. Yeah.
It was like they really needed to make it so like the T-Rex, in order for the Meg to show its dominance and being the apex predator of the trench, he had to literally tip his toes into the goddamn ocean.
Yep.
He was like, "Yeah, you better run." And I was just like, "Yeah, this ecosystem doesn't make sense."
Not really.
But fine.
But what better way to show that this guy is king
Yes.
is have him eat a T-Rex? Even though T-Rex was 65 million years ago, maybe it was 20 million years
I think
ago.
that was
But you know, hey.
Well, that's the same thing. It was like Jurassic Park. None of those dinosaurs are from the Jurassic era.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't really remember all my eras, so I'm probably a little off. But I do know the Megalodon was around 20 million years ago. T-Rex was much longer ago.
But anyway, that is the opening, just showing you the dominance of the Megalodon. And then we jump to Jonas, and he's doing like push-ups or something in like some enclosed space.
Cool.
He breaks himself out, and you see that he was in a shipping container that's on a boat. He is now like some type of eco warrior or something like that.
This man was a rescue diver. This man was a rescue diver.
It's called transferable skills, bro.
Okay, now he's a rescue.
You go on LinkedIn.
Rescue diver turned scientist turned eco warrior turned.
No. He's about as much of a scientist as Mark Wahlberg in the Happening.
Fair. Wait, Mark Wahlberg found out it was the trees, man. All right, so like that man is a
He
hero.
confusedly said, "I think it's the wind." Dumbass. Anyway, so yeah, we see him. He's now an eco warrior. He's trying to bring to light the fact that the people on the ship are dumping hazardous waste into the ocean. So he takes some pictures in like the captain's office, and then he gets chased. There's a fight scene. And there's action. It's fucking Jason Statham, so he's always a transporter.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much.
But yeah, so he escapes the ship and he gets picked up by Mac and Regus. And like, it was like a cool little escape scene. So like the first two scenes were really cool. It was introducing the Meg, it's introducing your protagonist.
It makes no sense that he's doing all this.
None of it.
Again, he's a rescue diver, and now he can single-handedly
Dive
fight off
something,
5
shit.
dudes. Like, I'm like, yo, like when did he start beating up dudes like this? But
yeah, so he gets picked up by Mac, and they go back to the Mana One, and then you get introduced to the other characters, and basically they're doing more research on this new research facility called the Mana One, and they're doing research on some megalodon that they were able to capture when she was a pup. I think her name is like High Key or something like that. Yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
And so we meet Mei Ying, and that's when you find out about the fact that her mother has died, and now he's like kind of her surrogate father. And she's a teenager now, trying to rebel. She's very smart and big into marine biology, and she wants to help.
She's 14 now. She's an adult. Damn it! All right, let her go out and swim with the sharks.
I'll just say, I hate precocious children, so I'm not gonna get into it. But yeah, so we meet Mei Ying, and then we meet her uncle, who was estranged from his father, or who I assume was in the first one. I don't know. Yeah. Estranged from both his father and his sister. Because like he was kind of like the rebel,
doing his own thing. Yeah,
started his company and stuff like that. So then he bought the research facility to continue his sister and father's research with the sharks. So there's a scene with where he goes into the tank that High Key is being held in because he's been training her he'll click some button or something like that, and it sends out a beep for her to come to him, and then 2 beeps means for her to go away.
Yeah.
And then so it works the first time, and then but she turns around and kind of picks up speed and comes back, and then it's just like this scene where like he escapes somehow.
Yeah,
literally it cuts away to like the people inside the facility, like get the fuck out of there.
Yeah. Well, you have to remember this man can teleport. All right, because within the span of 10 seconds, all right, he escapes away from the shark.
That is another reason why I don't fuck with the ocean. Yeah. Okay, I don't have the same dexterity in the ocean that I do on land.
Just look, instant transmission.
I can do high knees to the end of the earth. Cannot do that shit in the ocean. But yeah, so just introducing the characters. And then they go to some benefit dinner or whatever where we get introduced to another one of the benefactors, Hillary. I can't remember her last name, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And then while there, like they use Jonas as a marketing tool to get people to donate to the research facility. He's the man that went against the megalodon and lived.
Yeah. He saved all those people, so he's like kind of like a minor celebrity. Yeah.
And then he recognizes a guy in the crowd, but he can't place his face.
Yeah.
And then we just jump to they're doing research in the trench. So they're
real quick part too. With the shark, I want to point it, like that time when Mei Ying was like chilling there by the window and like High Key was just like staring at her. That was damn unnerving. That was awesome. Like,
but she ruined it because she goes, "Do you miss your mama?"
Shut up, dummy. Like, be terrified. Like, be terrified. I'm terrified right now.
Stop humanizing villains.
Yeah. That thing wants to eat you. It's just thinking, how can I get inside to eat you? That's all it cares about right now.
But yeah, so Jonas and his team are conducting research missions into the trench. And so they're doing it like I think they're 26 mission.
Yeah, they had 26 missions without any complications, as they've told us multiple times, which tells us one thing.
Oh boy,
there's going to be complications on this one.
So during this 26th mission, they're heading down to the trench, and
technically 27th, I think.
Okay. And what matters is they're not doing another one.
It's true.
But yeah, so as they're heading down, somebody notices back in the back on Manor One that the air, you know, there's inconsistencies with the air supply, meaning that there's a stowaway.
Yeah.
And obviously it's Mei Ying. She had mentioned that she wanted to die. She wanted to go with them, but Jonas said she was too young.
Which she is. She's a 14-year-old
Yeah,
girl.
obviously.
You know, hey.
Once again, fuck precocious children.
Just, you know.
Do what I say. I don't understand.
Yeah, it's just very simple.
I don't have time to fight two sharks.
Yeah.
Because you don't know how to sit your active ass down.
Exactly. There's a lot of things that could go wrong because of you right now.
The precocious children equals liability.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
Yeah.
That is the Venn diagram.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Mei Ying has stowed away. Jonas wants to turn back, but she's able to convince him. You know, once again bringing up the whole fact that they haven't had incidents, so it's just routine, whatever. So like he was like, fine.
Fine, since we haven't had an incident yet, I guess
Fine, because the movie needs to go along, I'll allow it. That's another thing too I hate about movies like this. Was just like stupidity is like is a plot like advances the plot so often, but it was just like after a while it just gets annoying.
Yeah,
nobody's that dumb.
Yeah.
Or like just,
You're like, come on, yeah.
common sense, sir. Okay, but anyway, so as they're doing the dive, you see back at the facility that Haki is somehow broken out of her containment. Like she was swimming around. Like when you saw her earlier, like you were saying, they mentioned that she was like something's been off with her. Yeah. And as soon as nobody is on the base for some reason, they just leave it.
That's when she knows she can get away.
Yeah. So she breaks a vent and is able to escape her captivity. Yeah. And so as they're diving towards the trench, they notice that a Meg is coming towards them. I'm like, how?
Yeah. Like they can't get through the thermal layer.
Yeah. Which is, once again, another thing. Anyway. Yeah. So, like, they see Haki coming towards them. So, like, they know that once they hit the thermal layer, because there's a thermal layer separating the trench from the open ocean. Yeah. And so they know that once they dive below that thermal layer, Haki can't follow them.
Yep, that's what they know.
That's what they know. That's why they have these special submarines.
Yeah, that can go past the thermal layer. Yeah.
But anyway, so as they go down past the thermal layer, Haki's like, "What's up, guys?"
Yeah, it's like, hey, like, what are we doing out here?
Like, hey, what are we doing? We're doing search and stuff. So once again, this is what pissed me off. Like I said, it was like you can't say something and then break your own rule.
Yeah. Because in the first one, the only reason the Megs could get out was because, you know, they went through the thermal layer and there was like a hole in the thermal layer to let shit go through.
Even like you see this later, there's a hole.
Yeah. So I think
but it was like, what's the point? Anyway.
They kind of said, they're like, well, the submarines might have like let off some heat as we went through, so she followed us. Okay.
Word.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
Clearly, I'm doing this podcast, so I'm an expert in all things shark. It doesn't sit right with me, buddy. Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, now they're in the trench. Both the two teams of submarines and Haki. And when they get there, they notice that there's, I think, 3 more, or was it 2 more?
There's definitely at least 2 more.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's 3 later. So I'm just gonna say
that's
2 more.
Yeah. Anyway, so it was like they see that there's 2 more Megs coming in. It was like, as you saw in the trailer, the biggest megalodons anyone has ever seen.
Apparently so.
And
Megs were a long time ago. People weren't alive then. So, yeah.
And so the submarines have a special light that I think it's like a red light or something
like an infrared red light.
Yeah, which means that the Megs won't attack them, because the Meg will attack anything with light, and I think they can hear their heartbeats or some shit like that too, like shark shit.
Yeah. Well, the ampullae on the front of the shark lets it detect like electric signals and shit. But that's.
So they're undetected by these two new Megs because of the fact that they have these lights on, and since they're in the trench, they've now seen these 2 new Megs. They're like, let's follow them. So like, Haki joins up with those other 2 sharks. And so they follow all of these sharks to somewhere, and then the shark started mating, and that's when they realized that's why Haki was acting erratically. She was in heat, or the equivalent of being in heat for a shark.
So sharks are cold blooded, so I think it's called in cold.
Oh, God, I'm not a doctor.
No, I have no idea.
I'm not a doctor, sir. But yeah, so as they continue to explore, we see that there's another team down there.
Yes.
And this is where we meet Montez. And he's
bad guy.
There's he's at a station, an underwater station in the trench, and they're mining for certain like minerals or something like that. That's very, very valuable on the surface.
Unobtainium.
Yes.
What's unobtainium from again? Actually,
Avatar.
Okay, that's right. It's Avatar. Yeah.
But you see that Montez is working with Hillary, the woman who is also funding, working with Ju-Ming.
Yeah.
And so he sees that the other team is there as well, and so he has his men mining. They're setting up mines to blow up the rock to get the minerals, and he just makes the decision that he needs to blow up the mine, or else they'll discover like what he's doing.
Yeah, which for the record, that's like I think one of the best ways to set this up. That this guy is bad. He just immediately kills his
Yeah.
team. He's just like, hey, sorry guys, bam, you're dead. Well,
Because he was like, his team hasn't returned to the boat yet. He was like, all right.
right, yeah, I'm sorry, they're gonna die. Yeah, like so, great. I will say, great way to set up that this guy is a bad guy because he does bad guy things like kill his own men very quickly.
Yeah, so he collapses the tunnels and everything like that. He sets off the mines. In both trying to trap Jonas and his team in the trench and then cover up what they've been doing.
Yeah.
But in doing that, he also puts himself in peril like a smooth dumbass.
Yeah. Well, no one's perfect.
He justified his actions over here.
Just, Montez.
He's
was
like,
the
he
real
can't
hero.
think of everything.
Yeah,
all right?
exactly. He's doing the best he can with what he has. All right. You give my man Montez a break.
And so I think we see that Jonas's team has survived, but I think it's him, Regan, like a few people have survived.
I think just about everyone in the sub survived. In his
Yeah.
sub.
In his sub, everybody survived, and they realized that they can't turn back on the power. The only way for them to get out of the trench is to use the exosuits that they showed a bit earlier.
Yeah, which felt very random, but I'm glad they showed it to us earlier because now.
But it was just like, so they need to use the exosuits to get back to the station that they found, which was Montez, where Montez was working, and hope that there's a rescue pod, because their rescue pod was sabotaged.
Yeah.
They see, and so Jonas, Mei Ying, Regas, and I think another guy.
And like one or two more.
Yeah, they get in their exosuits because they don't have contact with the other ship, and so they walk out into the trench. And while in the trench, they do meet up with Ju-Ming and the other team.
Yeah, because they had the same idea.
Yeah.
They could talk to the top, kind of.
They did have communications with Mana One.
Yeah.
But so you have both the teams from both submarines get together, and now they're walking the trench in these exosuits trying to get to the station in hopes that there's a pod or something like that to get them out of the trench into the surface.
And they have to go like 3 kilometers, and they have 2 hours of air to do it. Yeah. Which, for the record, 3
Stakes.
kilometers. Yeah, that's fair. 3 kilometers would be like 2 miles, 2.5, something like that. Like 5K is 3 miles. So yeah, I'm American.
Throw that in my face.
Just America. Yeah. Maybe it's like 1.8. I don't know, but yeah.
So they need to traverse the trench in order to get to this station, and this is one of those, like I said, this part of the scene was what I really like because it did put you in that moment. I told you I do not fuck with the ocean.
Yeah.
And so like as they're in the ocean, like there's a alien, I guess, homage to aliens.
Yeah.
Like some face sucker. Like, jumps on one of the guys.
And like this too. I mean, this whole part was really pretty. Like this whole entire, like they're down in the trench. It was good CGI. It looked really good. I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
Like
they start getting attacked by the different creatures down there.
I would watch a whole movie about this.
Yes. And so we see that Montez is still alive, and he needs to make sure that Jonas and his team don't make it back to the surface. So we get back to Jonas's team. They get attacked, I think, by some creature.
Some creature kills one of the dudes.
Yeah.
We never even see. We just see it open its big eye. But maybe that's supposed to be the octopus.
Possibly,
that would be my guess. Yeah.
But so one guy gets killed, and then they're almost to the station. One girl she keeps hyperventilating.
She's breathing too damn heavy.
Yeah, so she's running out of air, so they need to get her to the station. And then as they're on their way to the station, they start getting attacked by these lizard creatures
that were in the opening too.
That were in the opening, and so luckily they have guns. right?
They were like harpoon guns.
Okay, that's what I was.
Yeah. They look like
As I'm
shotguns.
saying it back, I'm like, wait a minute, what are bullets doing?
I think they called them harpoon guns.
It didn't make sense as I was saying it. And I was like real time, like, what the?
What was that? Yeah, no, they looked like shotguns though.
Yeah.
But they called.
But so yeah, now you have this race to get to the station.
Yeah.
And now they're being attacked by these lizard creatures, and now also the Megs are approaching them too. And so like this was a cool action scene too. It's like really putting the stakes are very high. A few more people get killed.
The one woman dies because she runs out of air. So she kind of since she's running out of air, she sacrifices herself to the Meg. Yeah. Another woman, the little lizard things cracked her helmet
that
a little
shit was
bit.
Wild.
Yeah, that was
saw
really
it
cool.
coming. So it's just like they're getting attacked by the Megs because it's like the lights. They're attracted to the lights outside of the station. So Jonas, I think it's Jonas, Mei-Ying, Juming, Regas.
Yep.
And then another lady.
Fourth lady.
Another lady they make it to the station. And they're in the hatch they can't take off their,
because it's depressurized.
Yeah,
it hasn't depressurized yet.
Yeah. So, and so as it's depressurizing, like you said, there was a crack in her helmet, and her head just explodes.
Just implodes. Yeah. Because how pressure works, everyone. Imagine a basketball. All right, so
that's like a Britta explaining an exploding ego, and she used an apple. He's like, why wouldn't you use a balloon?
Because this doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
But yeah, so now we have 4 survivors out of between the 2 ships.
Yeah.
And also at the same time, like I said, Montez is on his mission to kill Jonas and his team to make sure they don't make it to the surface. On the Mana One, we have Mac and DJ and Jess realizing that somebody on the Mana One sabotaged the submarine.
But who could it have been?
So now they know that it wasn't any of them. So now they're all working together to figure out.
Or was it?
So those are the stakes you have. That's where it is. So. Jonas and his team, they look through the station and they see that it was a mining station. They're mining some mineral that goes for like $1 billion, per it was like per casket or something like that.
Oh yeah, because it's good for like superconductor, semiconductors,
chips,
semiconductors, chips, computer stuff.
Yeah.
Sounds fancy.
That's when that's what they realize. That's what they don't know who's doing it.
Yeah.
But they know that somebody's doing it. Then they go to the.
Sorry, quick pause. I'm pretty sure 3 kilometers would be like 1.6 miles. It's been bugging me since I said it because I'm like a 5K is like 3.1 and 3.2. So I'm gonna call it 1.6. So they are 1.55 then technically. So a mile and a half in 2 hours. That's easy to make. Sorry, it was bugging me.
Underwater, sir?
Yeah, I mean, they're even lighter.
There are no roads. We don't need roads. But yeah, so. Once they figure out in the station that somebody's mining stuff, then they need to get to the escape hatches. And once they get there, they go to try to get into one, and this is where we get the turn.
Yeah.
From you found out that both DJ and Mac and the rest of the team in the trench find out that Jess is the mole. She was the one that sabotaged the submarines. And so she goes on the comms with them, and she says, Jonas can't make it out alive.
Yeah.
So she tells Regas to kill Jonas, or else none of them are getting out of there. Regas points her gun at him, but she can't do it.
Yeah.
So Jess sends off one of the escape pods, and I think there's only like 3.
I think she sent off because first, for the record, Jonas had way too much damn pride. You know, it was just like I would have said whatever the fuck. I would have been like, "Yep, absolutely, I'm on your side now. Just get me out of here, and then I'll turn on you." Like, I won't. Like, what is this?
You're still in peril.
You're gonna die, dude. Yeah, but so they send off one, and then I think she's aiming it at him. And when she doesn't do it, I think she just sends up the other one. They just send up all of them. Now they're all gone. There's no escape pods there.
And so then she floods the little escape hatch that they're in with water. And the only way for them to get out is I think they break the door. Like they need somebody to override the door.
Yes,
but it's outside. So you have the scene where Jonas, being that he is a great swimmer, he he is a diver, or whatever, and Jason Statham is actually an Olympic level swimmer. So he needs to go out into the trench, swim to the other hatch where they got in, and override the system.
I meant to Google if it was possible to do this from a pressure perspective.
I don't. Yeah.
Because they had some sciencey talk to explain
Yeah,
it.
she was like, yeah, Regis goes is like, well, you don't see fish in mech suits.
Yeah, exactly. Well, because technically the pressure is because if you inhale the water, so it's in his sinus cavities and in his lungs, then the pressure from the outside won't squish him, I guess, because the water's in there. Because that's why the pressure exploded earlier on the woman with her helmet that exploded, was because once there was that release in pressure, there was so much more pressure coming outside, pushing in on her, and there was that pressure release, so that's why her head imploded.
Got it.
So technically, if he inhaled all that water in his sinus cavity, maybe that wouldn't collapse. I meant to Google it. I have no idea. We don't really teach that in high school science.
Yeah. So yeah, Jonas
Yeah.
makes his. I think he kills some creature on his way into during his swim.
Your little raptor buddy.
Yeah, and he makes it. He makes it back to the station, and on his way to go unlock the hatch to save the other three, he gets he sees Montez.
Yeah, well, he passes out.
Yeah.
And then Montez saves him. Montez is dragging him along, and why wouldn't you just leave him there or kill him right there?
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then you find out that he and Montez have a history or some shit like that. He had sent Montez to jail for being an eco-terrorist.
Yeah, something.
And so they fight, which is, once again, the action scene is good because it's the transporter.
Jason Statham. Yeah, exactly. It's Jason Statham. Any action sequence with Jason Statham is going to be pretty good because it's Jason Statham. It just doesn't make sense that, this Jonah is able to do all this shit. But anyway.
And so Jonas beats Montez, leaves him for dead, as one does.
For sure.
Rescues the other three. They steal Montez's boat and go back up to the surface.
Yeah.
And then I think they use the lights from the station and an explosion to distract the Megs
As they go up.
And they realize I didn't say this before, but when Montez set off the mines earlier, it caused a tunnel in the trench.
Yeah. Which.
And so that's how they get out or whatever, and also how the Megs follow them and get out. And not only the Megs, there's the octopus and some of the other the lizard creatures follow as well.
Yeah.
And so now you get it. There's a mutiny on the Manor One with DJ and Mac, and because obviously Jess is working with Hillary and Montez, and so Jonas' team. It's really quick. Jonas' team makes it to Manor One. They knock out whatever guards they need to rescue DJ and the DJ and Mac, and then they escape.
Yeah. DJ has turned into some kind of badass now.
Yeah.
Some partial badass who has trained in everything since the last movie because he was only a computer guy before, I think.
Fine.
Yeah, cool, whatever. Let him do his thing, I guess. Yeah.
Montez makes it to the surface using one of the, I think one of the floating things they use to transport the mineral.
Yeah.
And so he gets to Manor One, and he kisses Jess, so you find out that that's
They're into it.
they're together or whatever, and then we get a scene, and it's crazy because it was in a trailer. Why would you do this?
Yeah.
But the Megs are now attacking Manor One. Jess sees it and says, "Oh, this is Meg proof," and she taps the glass, and immediately the Meg just.
Nothing is make proof. Nothing is shark proof. All right, let's remember this with movies, everybody. Sharks can do anything. All right, sharks are God in these movies. They can do whatever they want.
It was another funny thing. It was just they're both in the same room.
Yeah.
The shark attacks Jess, making water flood into the room.
Yeah.
Montez somehow runs from where he was standing next to Jess
He gets out. He's fine.
to the door, and not only gets to the door, opens it and closes it before the water.
Hey, Montez, that's my boy. All right, Montez can do no wrong. All right, he's a good guy. All right.
Oh God! So yeah, Jonas and his team escape on a boat, and they head to Fun Island.
Yeah, God, how on the nose is that? It's just Fun Island.
It's unobtainium. What it is.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And Montez gets made fun of for crying by the
Yes.
other lady, which again, not fair. Leave my boy alone.
But yeah, so she sends off Montez and the rest of his men to go kill Jonas and his team because once again, she doesn't want to be found out. This will be a PR nightmare that they've unleashed Megs into the world again. And so I think this was this was another part of the movie that was great. What you expected it was in the trailer. It really pushed this. So it was just
It's
Jonas.
very reminiscent of Meg 1 because at the end of Meg 1, they're on the beach and all that shit happens too. So you're all right, cool.
Or was it, I think they were also trying to prevent it. I don't think too many people got attacked.
In Meg 1,
Maybe I don't
really
didn't see
remember.
it.
Yeah,
But Yeah, so you get like Fun Island is a vacation spot, Vacation Island or whatever.
Who
So
was that dude who was cameoing in there? The businessman that was like.
Oh, I don't know.
He was in. He was like. He's like not a huge actor, but he's been in a lot of things.
Oh, okay, yeah, no,
but I
I
couldn't
don't know.
remember. I couldn't place him. Yeah.
But yeah, so chaos ensues when Jonas and his team get to the beach because the the lizards and the octopus have followed them. So DJ and Regis try to go get some signal to call like the Air Force or whoever.
Yeah.
Jonas, while he was on the boat, he was
He made harpoons.
he made harpoons with explosives on them because
Yeah.
that's the only way to kill the Megs. And so he tells Mei Ying, sorry,
Yeah.
to stay on the shore. And he was like, please don't do one of those things where I tell you to do something and you ignore me, so that he can go out by himself because he was going to go with both Mac and Ju Ming, but there's only one jet ski. So it was like just chaos where like the octopus and some of the Megs and some of the lizards are attacking the people. Not everybody made it out. We do know that.
Yeah, exactly. When you have like, and this is what I was talking about earlier, is like you have a great scene that's copied from Lost World Jurassic Park of like the reptiles like running in the tall grass.
Yeah.
Or that's the Mummy 2 when there's like little dudes.
Yeah.
But like, and so it copied all these things. It just didn't do them as well. Because that should have been an awesome scene. I was like, oh yeah, I recognize that, and I was like, okay.
Oh yeah, then Ju Ming is like with the Jurassic Park thing. It was like he's running away, but he's running like a fucking clown.
Yeah,
Just like,
I don't know, bro. Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So
Chaos ensues. Lots of
chaos
action.
ensues. Fucking Hillary, for some reason, lands on the island for whatever reason.
Because she needs to die.
She gets killed by one of the lizard creatures.
Yeah.
They take her what's his name, Mac and Ju Ming take her helicopter. Jonas kills, like he misses one of the spears, but he hits the second one. I did notice it was just like he had like 3 initially.
He only had
threw
3.
one,
Yes.
missed,
And he had 4
threw the
more.
second one.
And he had
like,
4 more.
Who are you, fucking Zelda?
I was just like, yo, like he missed the first one. I was like, I thought she only had 1 per shark, bro. Like that's not.
Oh, the consistency isn't here. But yeah, so he kills one Meg.
Yeah.
Ju Ming kills the octopus. I think they're able to explode most of the lizard creatures and Montez's men.
Yeah.
Montez and Jonas fight on the dock.
Yeah.
Jonas cuts Montez and the blood seeps into the ocean.
Yeah.
And they do the classic shark thing, was like their sharks are drawn to blood, and so Jonas kicks Montez into the shark's mouth. So yeah, we have all our enemies are dead except for one Meg that's left. Oh, actually, yeah, I think that was a cool scene too, right? So the harpoons were a good idea.
Yep.
The first Meg went down, so there's 2 left. The big one, the massive one, the Alpha, is about to attack Mac because he had crash landed his helicopter into the ocean.
Yeah.
And so Jonas takes one of the blades from the helicopter, slaps it on the.
How heavy is a helicopter?
No idea. No, let's
That's
get-
one I just know. Yeah. But yes, takes a whole
He's
helicopter.
Jason Statham, not the fucking Rock.
Okay, fair.
But yeah, so like he smacks the blade onto the water, trying to get the Meg's attention. When the Meg comes, he used the blade to stab it in the head. I thought that was a really fucking cool scene.
That was cool. Yeah, that was a cool scene. Still, just like that man's a superhero, but still a really cool scene.
But yeah, so now there's one Meg left, and it's high key, and so they're about to escape, but Ju Ming is like, I want to try something. So he goes back to that scene earlier in the movie where he does the clicking thing.
Yep.
And
it works.
it works. But Jonas is like, no, she saw some dolphins.
Yeah, because there were a bunch of dolphins running away. Yeah.
And he's like, no, it worked. So like they make it back to the beach, and the rest of the team is there. They're having a drink and just laughing at the fact that they brought death to this fun island.
Yeah. Fun Island is no longer fun.
And that's the end of the movie. I don't know if there was a post credits. I got right out of there.
Yeah. I don't think there was. I don't think so.
I didn't have the heart to stay.
Yeah, and that is Meg 2. Interesting movie. So we're changing up, as I said, slightly. So after the play-by-play, we're just going to kind of be a little more intentional and focus on things we liked and disliked about the movie. So Mike, give me a like of yours from this movie.
I really enjoyed the trench walk.
Okay, yeah.
Like I said, I think being somebody that's very afraid of the ocean, kind of afraid of the dark, and that walk, like I was in it with them.
Yeah.
In a way, right? Just every little thing was like, oh shit, what are they gonna see? Type. So it was like I thought that was shot very well. It was like it really put the audience in the same seat as the characters.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed.
Did you see this in 3D or did you see it normal? Okay, yeah. I agree. I 100% agree. I think that trench walk, and really from building on that too, just the CGI in general, as I was talking about, like when you saw the Meg, that was scary. There was like the part when like the Meg is like looming there looking at Mei Ying. That was terrifying. When you have like the really cool sequences of like, it looked very realistic, it was very well done. That CGI and the trench walk, really cool stuff. Totally agree. And I think touching on the trench walk as well is you could have made an entire movie off of that. Yeah, and they have, and it still wouldn't have been, this movie wasn't very original. Let me put it out there. It wasn't like the most original movie ever. It took from a lot of other movies, and there have been movies with a trench walk or with like exploring the ocean and bad shit happens or exploring the center of the earth. But still, it would have been a pretty entertaining, interesting movie instead of a whole bunch of stuff hodgepodge together. Yeah. Sorry, that turned into a dislike as well. Another like of mine that I had, again, like, it's Jason Statham, man. Any of his action sequences are going to be good action sequences. Like, any of his fights are going to be good. Him doing super, human feats. It's Jason Statham. There's a reason why he's been like a lead, action star for 2 decades now, something like that. So yeah. Any other likes from you?
Like I said, the thing I liked the most was like them leaning into the titular character. So it's like even though it was nothing but pure chaos that last 15 minutes, I enjoyed it for the fact that it was like, this is why I'm here.
Yes.
Like this is what I wanted to see.
100%.
This is what you pushed in the trailer. And once again, I wish we would have seen more of the trench that was in the opening scene.
Yeah.
Like the land portion of it, like very much like in Godzilla versus King Kong when they went to like the Hollow Earth type of thing.
Yeah.
So it was like it would have been cool to see if they would have made it once again, if they would have made a movie about the trench.
Yeah. Yep.
I think they might have done the trench walk and then found like some where the dinosaurs were. Type of thing.
Like shortening this movie with that, you could have if you cut out all the human portions and then they're just going down for another mission down in the trench. They discovered a new area. Hell, have them being like, oh, we found a new unobtainium material that we can help save the world. They're down there exploring. Shit goes wrong. Shit explodes. Now they're back up. They still have Fun Island. You cut out like 30, 40 minutes of human interaction and just have exploration in trench, have the beach scene, 90-minute movie, good movie. Yeah. But yeah. So let's get to dislikes because I kind of ran out of likes. Dislikes. Unless you have more likes.
No, I was pulling that out of my ass.
Yeah. Dislikes, and not to beat a dead horse, but it took a lot of things from other past movies, kind of mashed them together, and then just didn't have as good a result. So you had the raptors from Jurassic Park, Lost World Jurassic Park, with the reptiles out there. In theory, that should be good. You have like the corporate evil woman trying to monopolize stuff in the world. She came off as just kind of like stilted and a little weird and just made terrible life decisions because she died. It's just like it. In theory, you have all these plot points that should make sense. They just weren't as well executed to make this like a better movie.
And I think what's frustrating is the fact that since it is a B movie, it was like you're not supposed to question these things. But I think that shouldn't be the case. It's the same thing with like, it's a kids movie, so it's allowed to be dumb. And it was like, you're right, but it was also it doesn't need to be devoid of logic.
Exactly. Yeah. Like there are phenomenal B movies which are just like, they follow their own rules. They still tell a story, and it's like going to be grimy. You're going to have like a little extra action or stuff that doesn't really make sense, and that's fine. But it still like all goes together, and you're not kind of bored at times. And that was the thing. I was a little bored at times. Yeah. Anything else dislike wise for you, sir?
No, I felt like we've said most of it. Like I said, I think it was whatever story that they did tell wasn't what I was expecting from a movie with this title.
Yeah, because it was, and with that, it was when I was expecting sharks because I watched the Meg for the first time like 2 months ago, I think, because I knew this was coming out. So I was like, all right, let me finally watch the original Meg. And then when this one came out, and then they found the trench, I was like, oh shit, the Meg's here because whatever. But really, this movie's going to be about the trench. No, it was about a dumb capitalist message, and you're like, ah. So with that, so likes, dislikes. Were there any important messages to take from this movie?
Stay out of the ocean. I don't know if that's
Don't
what
say that
Jonas's
shit.
message was. That is my message. Stay on land. If you don't have gills or flippers, don't take your ass.
I love the ocean. I'm not gonna say do that. But yeah,
I don't say I didn't love the ocean.
just don't want to go in it.
Don't misinterpret my words.
Yeah. Yeah, there were no messages in this movie. It was a blockbuster movie where it was very on the top surface.
Which is weird because of the fact that they had the message of obviously capitalism and protecting the environment.
Yeah, they tried.
They
Tried. But yeah, so for those that like the movie, more power to you. We don't like hate the movie. Like I was entertained at parts, but if you're looking at it from a pure movie perspective, this is what we're giving. Actually, so before we even get to that, let's review our original ratings. Mike, you gave it a 2 out of 5. Do you stick with your 2 out of 5?
I'm gonna be generous. I'm gonna stick with a 2.
All right.
I could go lower, but like I said, I was entertained by the parts that they did well. So
Yeah.
definitely 2.
2? Cool. I'm going to stick with my 1.5 because I too was entertained by certain parts of the movie. It wasn't devoid of all entertainment and enjoyment, so I'm going to give it a 1.5. But yeah, that is Meg 2 The Trench, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. If you'd like to reach out to us, you can add us at 2meddlingkids on Twitter and Instagram, or you can shoot us an email at 2meddlingkids@gmail.com. Mike, if they want to reach out to you, how can they?
On Instagram at Days from Legendary.
Excellent. And if you'd like to reach out to me, you can find me at EdHunt77 on Twitter and Instagram, and as well as hunt.comics on Instagram. Everybody.
Bye.